Laura, this is Kathy, and we're here to talk about the Community of Hope here at Grace Church. Can you tell me how you first became involved with the Community of Hope?
Sure. The first time I heard of the Community of Hope International was on a retreat that I was on for Foundations for Christian Formation certification program offered through the diocese about 4 years ago. And when I heard about it, I nearly was jumping up and down because the subheading for the training was, "What is God calling you to be?" And at that point, that phrase really aligned with my talks with God about, well, who is me? Who am I supposed to be? And trying to uncover that and be able to use that in the world. And so I quickly signed up for the training. The training was actually 14 weeks of these unbelievable formational topics like pastoral caregiving and Benedictine spirituality, debriefing and self-care, and the spirituality of the aging and death and dying, grief, all these things that are so important to us being better listeners to the people around us.
So how did you bring that to Grace Church, Laura?
At that point, I actually, once I became a lay chaplain through the Community of Hope, I was able to speak with the Georgia representative, who is Harmony Kaiser, who asked me to begin the program here at Grace. And the Reverend Dr. Cynthia Park was absolutely pivotal and essential in getting that off the ground.
Good. You've told me that there's a distinction between an order and an organization or committee. How does that define this group?
Yeah, because I think sometimes on the outside they can look very similar. But an order is a space where you take a holy vow, which is appealing to me, that you have to practice some obedience to that, and that sometimes it becomes a space for you to grow because it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And so if you're making a holy vow, when you're saying to yourself that you're going to commit yourself to an unswerving dedication to the truth, it looks like you are carrying that out in all aspects of your life. It becomes part of who you are. Part of who I am now is because of the Community of Hope and studying Benedictine spirituality, which I think is different than being in a program, which might meet once a week or once a month, and it's kind of a compartmentalized part of your life or your vocation. An order and being a lay chaplain in the Community of Hope is about always embodying the incarnated Christ to whoever you might meet in your day. So it could be that you're fulfilling your lay chaplaincy at a secular agency or within the walls of the parish, or to somebody that you meet at the pizza place on Friday night.
Yeah, that sounds like a much bigger commitment than just being on a board or being a part of a committee at a church.
I think always our commitment should be about who we are. And so firstly, we need to decide if God is calling us to do that. And that's why there is a large discernment time before entering into the training to be a lay chaplain through the Community of Hope. And there's conversation with your spiritual director or your rector or anybody that's willing to kind of sift through who it is that you really are and if God is in fact calling you to do this.
So with that kind of commitment that requires, when did you bring this to Grace Church, and how many people were willing to participate?
About 2 years ago is when we started to get the ball rolling actively. Prior to that, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes preparation for it. When we started the informational meeting, just to kind of get people's toes in the water about what Community of Hope is and how it can grow and how it might plug into pastoral care here at Grace, we had about 40 people attend. And after that, the people that signed up for the actual training, which is a big commitment, just like you said, there were about a little bit over 20 people who began the training. And at the end of the actually 15 weeks that we spent together training with guest presenters and homework and some writing and definitely lots of prayer and reflection, we ended up commissioning 18 new lay chaplains, which was the largest amount of people to be commissioned through the Community of Hope at one time. So we're really proud of that.
Well, as well you should be. That's quite an accomplishment.